Hello, this is old Mr. Kent of MrKent.com. And if you've been following my channel, you know that recently, it's been a few months ago now, I bought myself an electric XP trike, okay, E-Trike. And this is it here on this side. And previous to that, I had this e-bike, and the e-bike has the fat tires on it, and the trike has normal trike tires on it, which are wider than a regular bicycle tire. Anyway, I get comments every once in a while on my videos that they would like to have this, but they would rather have a trike with fat tires on it, and and so it kind of it doesn't bother me, but it's kind of like, and by the way, everything I have to say is pretty much from experience. 4 years ago, I got into flying, I got into riding e-bikes, okay? This is the third one that I've had. The first one had fat tires. The second one didn't. And this one here, of course, has fat tires. Now, I wouldn't want, since I've had one, I wouldn't want an e-bike that didn't have fat tires, because fat tires give you a lot more stability in contact with the ground. For one thing, there's more surface contact between the ground and the bike through a fat tire than there is through a narrow tire. Okay, so that gives you stability, and that's what you're looking for. In fact, at the end of what I'm showing you here, I'll tell you a story about how how fat tires caused me to crash and dislocate my shoulder on the first bike that I had. But that's another story, and I'll get to it later. Okay, so why am I saying all this? Because I would not have an e-bike, without fat tires. But when it comes to the trike, that's a different story. And this is why I don't believe you want fat tires on your trike. For one thing, there's not a whole lot of difference between a 4-inch fat tire, and this is a 2.6-inch. And by the way, I got it jacked up on this so I can get them closer together. A 2.6-inch wide tire. So the fat tire and the standard tire don't have a whole lot of difference, but that's not the point. The reason you don't want fat tires, or you wouldn't really need fat tires on a trike, is because you already have stability of three wheels, okay? You have a tripod, just like the camera here is sitting on a tripod. That's stability. In fact, when they design bridges and structures, they always design it so you got a three-sided triangle in the construction, because a triangle is one of the strongest, sturdiest shapes there is. So you have here a bike, a trike, that is already stabilized against all kinds of things, and and a fat tire is not going to make very much difference when it comes to stability, which is why that's why I would want one on an e-bike. So there's a lot of reasons not to, by the way, too, because the weight of a fat tire compared to the weight of a normal tire, you're adding weight, okay? And then the fat tire also has it's heavier, and it has a heavier inner tube, and not only that, in order for to have a fat tire, you have to have a rim that's wider than normal. So you're just adding weight that you really don't need. So you take, like for instance, per wheel here, somewhere between 5 and 10 pounds additional weight. You multiply that by 3, and you're going to be carrying around 20 pounds that you really don't need. So I'm not trying to sell this bike, although I could easily, because it's a super nice bike. But you do not need fat tires on a tricycle. And I speak from experience, okay? Okay, so that's why I made this video. I don't think you need, if you're looking for a trike, don't look for one that's got fat tires. Fat tires are just going to slow you down, and you'll get less battery mileage. There's all kinds of disadvantages to it. Just go with a regular size trike tire. Now, let me tell you about the fat tire thing. You know, if you've been following my channel, how I like to let some of the air out of my tires so that so the bumps don't hit so hard. Well, when I first got my first uh, e-bike, I let a lot of the air out of the back tire. I let a lot of the air out of the front tire. And I was going along one day. In fact, I'll even put a link to it right at the end of this video, or also in the descriptions of that bike crash. Okay, what happened was I had so much air out of the front tire that it was flexible, and the sun was behind me. If you look at the video, the sun was behind me, and all of a sudden the bottom of the bike went that way, and that left me flying this way. It ripped the handlebars out of my fingers, and I crashed and dislocated my shoulder. And then I had to ride home 3 miles with a dislocated shoulder, one good arm on an e-bike. So the point is I let too much air out, and then the tire climbed up the edge of a rut. I didn't see the rut, and I was a little off to the left side, and it climbed up the edge and I was going about 10 miles an hour. It just climbed up the edge through the front of the bike that way. That left me to go this way, and I crashed. So so if you do have fat tires, keep the front one full. Don't let too much air out of it, because that's how come I crashed and burned, and that was very painful. So that's my story. I don't think you want to look for a trike that has fat tires, because it's not going to help you a bit. From my experience, okay, it's not going to help you a bit to have fat tires on a trike, where it will on a bike. If you're looking for a bike, get one with fat tires. Don't get one with regular tires, because that's where they come in so handy. All right. So anyway, that's that's my story. I want to thank you for watching my videos, and God bless.